I've been listening to an oldie. I mean, a really oldie. This is old. 1960, 61. Richard Burton as the star of the Broadway play Camelot. And when he comes out to sing the song of Camelot, he says, "It's true, it's true, the crown has just revealed." And then he sings that famous Camelot. Well, it's true, Mercury is in retrograde, the crown has the sky has just revealed. Happened here at 2:10 in the East Coast, 2:10 Eastern Time, Mercury turned retrograde. It's happening in the sign of Capricorn, but it's going to boot, scoop, boogie all the way back to 22 degrees Sagittarius. Then it will turn direct on January 1st, and then it will take another 20 days to get out of the shadow. Now, where does this take place in the chart? Well, where I am, it's in the third house. So there is Mercury-ruled communication, right? The sun is obviously well below the horizon, just off the lowest, darkest point of the night, the Coeli. So in the equal house system, that makes Sagittarius the cusp ruler of the third, with Mercury in there in Capricorn. And all of that is sitting right next to yesterday's new moon. And the moon is pulling away and obviously has aspected Neptune, because that was the last aspect, as we already have discussed, that square to Neptune from the moon. And then the sun will square Neptune on Saturday. So if you cast a chart of this for your own location, and that, of course, is whether you're above or below the equator, you'll at least get a sense of these aspects. So the square to Saturn from the sun and the moon, that's the big square aspect. Then there are a lot of trines and sextiles going on here from this third house, stellium, if you will, of Sun, Moon, Mercury. So a couple of trines. I mean, one is from Mercury up to Jupiter. Can I hear a hallelujah? And why do we say that? Because, well, look, Sagittarius rules the house where the action took place at 2:10 this morning, Eastern. That's Jupiter. Mercury is trine Jupiter. Granted, it is separating. The exact aspect was Saturday night, but it's still within 2 degrees. That's enough for me to work with. And if we're considering this as kind of a natal chart, if you will, of this Mercury retrograde, then it really is squarely a trine. Another trine is Mercury up to today's vertex point, which is at 11 degrees Taurus. So that puts it 3 degrees from Mercury, and that might mean that there is some fated communication, some fated connection, insight, perhaps, someone during this Mercury retrograde. Now, here's a key. This is going to slip up on you. It's not going to be something that you proactively pursue. It's a lot more likely to be something you encounter, a synchronicity, if you will. Because we have that beautiful new moon that we described yesterday, and that vertex point being a point of fate, a point of destiny. But I love that connection with Jupiter, and I'll tell you, I have these two. I have Mercury and Jupiter 5 degrees apart in Sagittarius in my own chart, and it has worked out quite well in all areas and things related to communications and broadcasting and that kind of thing. So what this does is it makes this Mercury retrograde where we can take a break. We can tune inside because the moon is so close. So even though it's in a square to Neptune, there's a little bit of conflict around our intuition, right? Because they both are symbolic of that. The moon is in the soul perspective. Neptune is from the higher self perspective, or from the connection to the home office perspective. So there's a little bit of play there, might be a little bit of battle of the wills. Are you open emotionally to the guidance? Maybe there's a little bit of closed offness there that might be reflective from that square to Neptune. But if you clear that tension, if you clear whatever that square is representing for you, and then just wait. Soft hand for the next, well, until the end of frickin' January. Well, I mean, that's the shadow, at least until January 1st when it goes back direct, and then you'll have to just count some days there for the shadow to clear. But if you just leave this loose-handed and don't try to push your agenda, but instead be alert for the synchronicities. And the third house covers so many things, so it could be around everything routine, so that like most of the things in your life could come under this, could be related to a family member, not your parents or your children, those are in other houses, but it could be siblings, could be grandkids, could be aunts and uncles, could be cousins, Could be something related to a communications-related project. Could be a short trip or some kind of travel, routine travel. Could be related to learning, expanding the mind. Could also relate to a neighbor. Maybe there's something happening there. If you wanted to get another expanded take on this, I'd suggest you go back and listen to the Old Soul, New Soul episode of the Saturn in Pisces series related to Capricorn Sun and Capricorn Rising. That could give you another little bit of seasoning there of some of these characteristics affecting Capricorn. And then you could listen to the last episode that came out yesterday about Saturn in Pisces related to Pisces Sun and Rising, and get the culmination of that whole picture that might season this as well, because Saturn is in basically a wide sextile to Mercury. And it is wide, but since Mercury is in Saturn's sign of Capricorn, I think it is something at least to tip your hat to and say, if you play wide aspects, then you've got one, and Mercury is in Saturn's sign of Capricorn, so why not connect them together and at least observe what that characteristic might be? Gives you an upper hand. You know what else about this? Libra is the ascendant sign, the rising sign of this Mercury retrograde chart at 2:10 Eastern this morning. And that gives us a balance to this Mercury retrograde. So, minus the little things that might happen, I'm kind of seeing some good here. And especially if you really read into this and play the energy accordingly and keep a soft hand around these third house related areas and Mercury related areas, you might just have something nice happen during this Mercury retrograde 2023. We shall see. Have a great one. Enjoy. Set some intentions. And then turn your phone off. We'll see you in January. No, I'm kidding. Have a good one. Bye-bye.